Good morning or good afternoon, coaches, wherever you checking in from. This is Mike Handa, and today we have an interview here with Extima from the Czech Republic, specifically with Danica Babicová, who built a successful coaching business, and we'll be talking about what helped her to acquire the coaching skills that she did and what helped her to build her business. Welcome to the show, Danica.
Good morning. Hi, everybody. Thanks, Mike, for having this opportunity. I'm very excited. And hi, coaches around the globe.
All right, great to have you here with us today. And I really look forward to hearing more about your journey. So, what got you into coaching? Why coaching?
When I was a young student at the Department of Psychology at a university, I had the opportunity to work with a professor who originally was a psychologist and then psychotherapist. And in the 90s, when the Iron Curtain fell, there were great names streaming from the United States and other parts of the Western world. People like Steve DeShazer, a very famous psychotherapist, an American psychotherapist, known for his brief coaching techniques and an approach. And these famous guys educated the psychologists and psychotherapists in the 90s. And then later, they became the big names in the Czech Republic. And Petr Parma, who I worked with, became and coined the term systemic coaching in Czech Republic and for the world as well. So he applied the approach that was well known from psychotherapy or social work, basically working with people and trying to help them to change. He applied the principles into business. He saw the opportunity, okay, we can improve people and families within the psychotherapy setting or psychological developmental training, communication training. And boy, do they need that in businesses as well, to better understand communication, to better understand cooperation, so that the businesses they build are not only making money, but are sustainable environments for people to be effective, to make good living for themselves, to be successful, and so on.
It's really interesting to hear that you came into coaching from a background in psychology. So it wasn't just like a weekend course in Bali, but you actually have a formal education in psychology before you started coaching. So how did you come up with the program for businesses, or how did you develop your coaching methods and your program that help businesses?
So I've been very lucky, Mike. I've not developed I've developed something, but I have joined a company that has a tradition since 1996, and it was a combination of very smart artists, psychologists, psychotherapists, people who developed the know-how in combination with very smart sales minds and hearts. This was at the heart of Extima in the 90s. The know-how, the knowledge, the coaching, the guts, to do that, and a very professional sales approach. And I think that's why Extima became so successful, because it has always had professional sales teams.
When you think about this method that you're using, right, what is it that you help business owners with?
So because of the background and the know-how, the systemic approach, the complex approach, we are able to think of a company as of an organism that has a certain purpose. And the purpose is not always clear at the beginning. So one of the things that we help our clients with at the very beginning is, if there is not one, to find a purpose or to be aware of the purpose. And then, whatever the purpose and the goals are, once you've set the frames, then you are able to help the managers, the owners, or the managers to develop the skills or the type of thinking that is necessary for you to reach those goals. Sounds quite simple. It can be a lot of work.
So when you talk about this purpose, can you tell us about your purpose, like as a business?
Yeah. Our purpose, we were small. We're a company of 8 people at the moment, 5 coaches, and the rest is either office or sales support. We have very personal vision for ourselves. It means we want to be a team of people who can trust each other. I know it in Czech. Let me just translate it into English.
Sure, take your time. Of course, it's
We want to have a good atmosphere. Like, we want to live our life together as a team, as a bunch of people that get along well. And if there are any issues, then be open about it and let's resolve it.
That's really beautiful, and I envision a very positive working environment. It sounds like it must be a lot of fun working at your company. At the same time, I also wonder what's your greater vision for the impact that you deliver at your clients? Like, what are you trying to accomplish on the client side
For
with
the
your?
clients. So this is for us. This is our vision. And we also want to make a good living for everybody in the company. And there are some other things that are part of our vision. As for the mission, we say we are changing the world of management. Our mission is to improve the quality of relationships, the quality of management teams, the quality of management in general, so that the managers are more at ease as well as the people. And at the same time, we work for businesses. So the businesses are there to create quality, to be effective, cost effective, thought effective, emotion effective. There's just so many areas that come with working with people. So we try to improve the quality of the managers in the company so that they then spread the quality to their people. We basically teach managers later on to be managers, and it's a thing in Czech Republic. I think the majority of managers, they have become managers because they're so good at what they do. They're great specialists in their team, and that's why they kind of deserved to become a manager. But we say, okay, well, being a manager is different than being a great product person who understands the product and is just the best specialist. It has to do with communication. It has to do with people management, with managing and helping them develop their attitudes, their skills, whatever it's necessary for that specific position. So we kind of teach managers to be kind of coaches as well, people who are able to work with people and develop them and take responsibility for the quality of their people.
Can I ask you, when you started out with this concept, and obviously you didn't start out with 8 coaches, you kind of grew into that. So how did your company get your first 10 clients when you just began?
Whew. In the 90s, it was much easier in the Czech Republic for a company like ours to get started because, it was the Wild West then. There were no companies. It was really easy to start a new business. And I think Extima was way bigger then than it is now. I'll just talk about me and how I established myself in Extima because I joined Extima as an independent person. So for me to establish myself, I really had to make the business first to make a living. Yeah, it took a long time. Even though I was already a coach, I had my 3-year coaching training completed by the time. By the way, we teach coaches as well in our training. For us to be able to certify a systemic coach, it takes 3 years, over 500 training hours. It's a proper training.
Wow.
So I was already ready to start, and yet to become part of the business, it took me a while to get to know the clients and just to develop the relationships. I think sales is all about relationships, of understanding the needs of your clients, learning to get to know them in a way that it's appropriate in sales. I think when I compare who you are as a coach in that relationship and in that dynamics of the coaching session, you cannot really afford all of that with some clients in the sales part. You know, you have to be more safer, but not with everybody. And I guess it's also a style that you develop as a salesperson. But it was all about learning and establishing relationships.
It's interesting to hear that, like, even though you didn't take your own path as such, like you didn't establish a coaching practice on your own, but you joined an established organization, you still had to go through that same journey, and you still develop this understanding how important it is to acquire clients and to understand their needs and just to build a relationship with them. Thank you for sharing that. That's really powerful. So, what was your greatest challenge when you started out and building your own clientele under this organization?
For me, it was working with these amazing coaches. The company I work for has top-notch coaches. They were my teachers, and they were in the business for over 20 years. So very experienced. Just to become part of the team was probably the greatest challenge. One of our principles that comes from systemic philosophy and that we also teach and coach is that when you are joining somebody, especially somebody who's well ahead of you, they are stronger. You have to try and go up to them. It's not that they will go lower themselves, although they do. They try and develop you and everything, but they're very demanding, like imagine that. And that's the development, right? That's
Closing the gap, right?
coaching makes sense, just to help the person to reach higher.
So, what helped you the most in this, like to close that gap and to get yourself to that level? What was the greatest contributing factor?
The trust that I built with my manager, who happens to be the CEO and the owner of the company. But to have a great manager is probably like the lifesaver when things get really tough and you have had a good relationship with your manager who helps you. You can ask for help. It's amazing. You're not alone. You're not struggling alone. There's somebody to help you. There's somebody ready and willing and capable of helping you. So in this sense, we practice what we teach. We rely on our managers. We rely on the relationships. And that's what holds the group of people together. This is our highest principle. Guys, we're a team. We trust each other, we rely on each other, and whenever somebody is struggling, you don't have to struggle alone.
So
It's
this
one of
is
the
great.
basic
Like, this
principles.
is the importance of like having a team and not doing it alone is so powerful. So like as a team of 8, if it's not a secret, and you can share maybe how many accounts are you managing within your company right now?
Probably about 50 accounts.
Wow, that's really impressive with a team of 8 people. So what was the
Maybe
biggest
more.
contributing factor into getting there? Like how do you get 50 clients? I'm sure that new coaches would love to hear that.
Referrals are the number one way. You've done a good job in the past, somebody will share. We rely on referrals heavily, and I guess that will be true for any coach. No matter how amazing your marketing is and how much you claim, I can move mountains. If you have a real evidence of how your previous work has already benefited.
So you
But for
built
us, that's like 80% of all the accounts.
So you built
Or
a coaching organization that is sustaining 8 people plus your support staff as well, primarily based on referrals.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah. You would
incredible.
say it's not. You'd say because we're really good, we're really strong. But I don't know. It's a way. It's a journey. It's referrals. It's always referrals.
Have
And
you used
now
any
we
other? Have you?
struggle with those 20% just to really find new clients, and that is my work and my team's work. Now we're a team of 2 people in my sales team.
Have you used any other methods to acquire clients other than referrals that yielded good
We
results?
rely on a little bit of marketing. We are proactive in asking our clients for referrals because not everybody's like, "Ooh, I have a great coach." Especially with the top-notch managers, some of them don't admit they have a coach, which is okay. You have to be discreet. Uh, so actively asking for referrals, a little bit of marketing, and we've recently started to do things like networking breakfasts. I've recently joined a networking business organization. We have to establish new ways of finding clients, and it's really helpful that you have full-time salespeople to do that.
That's a great insight. So let's say we have somebody who's just starting out and they haven't had any clients yet. So they can't rely on referrals. They have to get their first 10, 20, 100 clients somehow. What would you advise them?
Actually, I cannot imagine that. Even over the course of your coaching training, at least in my company and the coaching training that we do, from like very early on, you already start doing the work. You have to work your ass off first as part of the training for free, find, or, very little, but for free. And we require a crazy amount of these hours, training hours, before you can earn your living as a coach. I can't imagine somebody who has never coached before. And even as part of your training, you already get your clientele. And first, it's for free or for very little, but first have to build your reputation by doing it, becoming more skilled, understanding more about the job. And then once you're kind of ready to go out there, which with us will be after 3 years of extensive training and a lot more than, I don't know, 300, 400 coaching out. More. You're like really doing a lot.
So it's not like these online ads and marketing gurus claim that you take a certification and 1 month later you'll have a 7-figure business and you'll be crushing it and quit your job right now and do as I say. It doesn't work that way.
I don't know. Maybe if there was a prodigy, I don't know. You have to know yourself well, and I think you have to have a history to be able to claim to somebody, look, I can help you with this, and I think I can do it because I've already done it in the past. Coaching, by the way, is not, I was a successful marketer and now I can be a successful coach. Sure, you have all of the experience in marketing, but coaching is a profession. Coaching is something else than marketing. As a coach with marketing experience, you're going to use all of that experience within the coaching setting.
That's a really interesting point. I feel like there are so many good coaches out there who are really skilled people and they are struggling with their business. And there are a lot of coaches who are not very good coaches, but they're great at marketing and sales, and they make them bank because they're good at sales and marketing, but not necessarily at coaching. So that's the paradox of it all.
How did they make that living? I don't know. I have a respect for people who are able to make money with coaching. So who am I to judge? The client is there to judge.
Look, as we're coming to the end of it, I was wondering, like, what would you advise someone who is just starting out today?
Oh, it's a tough business. I'd recommend for the person to join a reliable, well-established company to get a lot of experience and to get know-how, to not be alone, or become really, really, really like incredible and very, very attractive. I've recently seen a person of that high quality. It happens to be somebody we both know, Mike. It's the public speaking coach, Susanna. I thought she was amazing.
That's right. Yeah, she's
Who she
incredible.
is, but she's really powerful. That not every
Yeah.
coach is like that. She's a superstar. I think she can afford to just be the superstar, and she's so attractive that people would probably reach out to her, and she'll get a lot of referrals because her work is great. So either join a company or become a superstar.
That's a good one. Thank you for sharing that insight as well. My last question, I just want to know who inspires you in your own world, in your own business. Who do you find the most inspiring?
My colleagues, every single one of them, including our office managers and customer service, like everybody is part of the team and very supportive and is good at something and has been a person to rely on at certain times. Sometimes your boss is tough, but there are other people in my company who really support me, and they never give in to me being, crying. And they're like, you can do it. They're not like pitting me or anything. They've always had great trust in me, and honestly, every single one in my team. So them, Simona Parmova, our CEO, current CEO, she's amazing. Martin Chochola, and all the guys on our team, big names in coaching in Czech Republic, Petr Hložánek, Jana Výchova.
Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing all your experience about your journey, your history, and the insight of how you build such a wonderful team and how you make your business work so efficiently. So, if people are interested about getting coaching from you and your company, where can they reach you?
extima.cz, that's our website. All the contact details are there. I'll be more than happy to talk to potential clients or even network.
Danica, thank you very much for joining me for this interview today and for sharing all your experience and insights. I know you carry a lot of industry experience from starting out in the 90s, so that's like
Yeah.
30 years experience or coming up to 30 years experience in this industry. And it was really interesting to hear how the landscape was different to now and what has worked for you, what might work for coaches these days, and all your advice and recommendations for them. Thank you very much for joining, and I look forward to seeing you again sometime soon. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.
Thank you, Mike. Bye, everybody. Have a good day.